You hit me up on social media wanting to know, so now I'm here to give you the answers. Hey guys, it's Molly here again, and I have not done a Q&A video in a really long time. So a couple days ago, or when this video goes up, I have no idea how long ago, but a little while ago, I posted on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I'll put the links written across the screen here. They're always also in the description box down below. So that's where I found the questions for this Q&A, and that's most likely where I'll get questions in the future for Q&As. So if you want to be a part of the next one, go there. What's different about this Q&A than most Q&As that I've done, or than all Q&As that I've done, is usually I go through, I read all the questions and I pick ones that I'm going to answer and like either braille them out or type them on my computer. But this time I thought it would be more fun if I did not know the questions ahead of time. So my mom bear is sitting in the corner over there and she's giggling. And she has a whole sheet of questions, like I said, for Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram that have been selected. I don't know how many we'll get through, but we'll see. So she's going to like call them out to me, and then I'll repeat them so you can hear what they are, so if this video has like a ton of jump cuts, it's just because like she's reading me the questions and then I'm gonna tell you the questions and answer them. So it'll be fun for all of us because I have no idea what I'm gonna be answering. So let's get into it. All right, so from @theirishguy on Twitter, who tweets me a lot, which is great. I love like when you guys are super active with me on social media, I totally recognize your usernames. So I definitely recognize that username. And he asked, what's your favorite thing to do with Gallup? So honestly, you guys, Gallup like has two modes, sleeping and working. Like that's it. He's sleeping at my feet right now below the couch. Like he either is like, work mode, harness on, let's do this. Or he's like, I'm sleeping, resting up for the next work. So my favorite thing to do with Gallup is snuggle in bed because that is like his favorite thing to do and I like making him happy. Next question is from @myeTweets, obviously on Twitter. And that person asked, what would I like my life to be like in 20 years time? I would love to have a self-driving car. That would be like ideal. Really keeping my fingers crossed for a self-driving car by then. Hopefully sooner, but definitely in 20 years I hope that I can just like hop in my car, or even cooler, like a motorcycle, self-driving motorcycle, like hop on my little biker chick. That would be so much fun. I'd love to be living out in Los Angeles. A lot of my friends live out there. You guys know how much I love the summer, so summer all year round would be amazing. I hope to be married. I hope to have a house filled with lots of animals. I hope to be still like doing what I love in terms of career, like still working in some capacity in the entertainment business, whether that be like YouTube, acting, speaking. Like I hope to kind of be doing all those things. I hope to have at least one book out. And I hope that by then, like I'll be seeing more of a change in how mainstream media portrays the blind community and portrays disability in general. Like I hope that they'll all have been a part of making a change in breaking down some misconceptions and stereotypes that mainstream media kind of exacerbates. The next question, I don't know how to pronounce the username. I'm sorry, it was on Instagram though, and they asked if I could describe myself with any ice cream flavor, what would it be? And that's a really hard question, but I'm gonna go with my go-to ice cream, which is a mix of cheesecake ice cream, strawberry ice cream, and rainbow sprinkles. Because I'm like a little bit of like the rainbow sprinkles are like kind of like my crazy personality. I'm like a little bit of everything. And then like the mix of the two flavors, like cheesecake kind of is like the cheesy, like more sharp flavor, and then the strawberry ice cream is like really sweet. And I feel like I have like a sassy side, a sassy sharp side, and then my like sweet good girl side. So I feel like, I don't know, maybe that would describe me. If you could describe me with any ice cream flavor, what would it be? That's the question for the comment section below. What would you describe me as if you had to describe me as an ice cream flavor? The next question is from a girl named Lucy Jakowski, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, on Instagram, and she asked me if there's anything I could change about the world to make it more accessible for the blind, what would it be? And there is like a lot of things. I mean, the world has definitely come a long way in terms of accessibility, but it still has a long way to go. I feel like the biggest thing is like the little things that sighted people wouldn't even think of on a regular basis. Like public washrooms are so frustrating. Like all my blind people watching this right now, I know you're like, yes, she is correct, because it is like all my blind friends and I talk about this, but it's so annoying. Soap is always in a different spot. The hand dryer is always in a different spot. The sink is always in a different spot. The toilets are always in a different spot. And why do they always put the accessible stall at the furthest possible spot in the washroom? Like, wouldn't you think that should be the first stall? And then just like access issues. Like there's a lot of access issues for service dog users, which is really frustrating. And I've dealt with being denied access 3 times this week. So it's been a week for me with access. So that's definitely like a hot topic on my mind of something that I would love to change. Just like there isn't any issues with access for guide dog users, and that there wasn't fake guide dogs anymore or fake service animals, because that is part of what makes it so hard for those of us with real ones to get access. I could do a whole video on fake service dogs if that's something you guys would be interested in, so let me know. The next question is from Sasha Baldes on Facebook, and she asked if I've ever had any, obviously I'm paraphrasing these questions because I can't remember word for word, but basically she asked, as a blind fashion lover, have I ever had any like really bad fashion faux pas or fashion mistakes? And she also asked if I turn on the lights for Gallop when it gets dark out. To answer the first part of the question, no, I can't think of any. And I just asked my mom, like, if she could think of any, but as she pointed out, like, she would always have corrected. Like, if there was, I'm always around sighted people, you know? Like I mentioned, I think it was in my last Q&A video, where I was wearing a striped shirt and my braille paper was striped. And I was like, hey, my braille paper matches my shirt. And so many comments were like, how did she know that? If she's blind, how would she have known that her braille paper matched her shirt? She's faking it. And I was like, obviously somebody told me. Like, hello, there's like sighted people in my life, and there always is. Like I either always have like my mom with me or a friend with me. And even if I didn't have a friend or my mom with me, I have like FaceTime or Skype. Like there's some way to be able to connect visually with a sighted person who can check me out, like check me over, make sure everything's good. I never leave the house without my makeup being checked by a sighted person, my outfit being checked, my hair being checked. So for that reason, even if I had ever like had something, it would have been very brief, because somebody sighted in my life would have pointed out that there was something wrong. And then to answer the second part of the question, do I turn the lights on for Gallop when it gets dark? I turn the lights on for me, like all of the time, because I have light perception, and pot lights are actually the best for me. So my parents have put pot lights in most of our house, which is very helpful. So my parents always joke, like they'll set the dinner table, have the candles lit, dim lighting on, because our like lights are on dimmer switches. And then I'll turn the corner and like blast the dimmer switch and like sit down at the dinner table, and they're like, oh, the mood killer's here. Like I always am blasting lights as bright as they can get, because the brighter they are, the more I'm going to be able to see and the more visual stimulation my brain receives. So yeah, no, I'm always blasting the lights for me. It's not for Gallop. From Soph Wink on Instagram, she asked if I have any tips for being a confident public speaker and for becoming better at public speaking. And I know a lot of like high schoolers or even junior school, like you have to do a lot of presentations and speak in front of your class, and that can be really intimidating. Or even in the workplace, a lot of adults have to give presentations at work, and it can be intimidating. And so I do have a ton of different tips that I could give you, a ton of different things that I've learned over the years that have really helped me. If that would be interesting to any of you in a video, please let me know. And if you see a comment saying that, thumbs it up to make sure that I do see it, because if enough people request that, then I will definitely do it. But I obviously don't want to do it if not very many of you would be interested in learning about like public speaking tips. But if I have to like just give one right now, it is take improv acting classes. Super helpful. At Jam Claire asked me on Instagram that is there any reason I didn't go to a school for the blind? I did actually go to a school for the blind. I was like a school hopper when I was little. So I went to a Catholic school until grade 5, a public school for grade 6. I did a private school for a bit, then I went to school for the blind, then I went to a public school again. So like I did all the systems. And I did the school for the blind for grade 9 and 10. I lost my vision in grade 8. Or most of it. Obviously, I was never fully sighted, as you know if you watch me on a regular basis. But yeah, so I went to the school for the blind for grade 9 and 10. I wish I'd only gone for grade 9 because that's really all I needed it for. To me, I think the school for the blind or schools for the blind in general are a great resource to go if you need to get like a lot of skills really quickly, or you need a space to go where you can just like stop focusing on helping other people understand you and just giving yourself some time to heal, because that's what it was for me. You know, being in a school surrounded by sighted people, both teachers and peers, when I was trying to accept and deal with vision loss was very difficult. And so when I went to the school for the blind, it's like I didn't have to work on helping people understand me all the time and helping people know what I need them to do and not do, because everybody else was blind and visually impaired. All the teachers were there and trained how to work with blind people, so I didn't need to help any of them, which gave me time to heal from my vision loss and accept it. And it was also a place to go where I could quickly gain like a whole lot of skills after having a dramatic loss in vision. So that's why I went there, but I really only needed it for the 1 year. But by the time I realized that, it was too late to pick a new school for the next year, so I went for 1 more year. I don't think it's a good long-term solution. I am very happy I did not do all my schooling there. Like I said, it was a good place, I had a good experience, but I personally would not recommend anybody go for like a long period of time, because life isn't designed for the blind the way a school for the blind is. The school for the blind is a blind bubble where everything is specially designed for the blind. Everything's brailled, everything's in large print, everything's high contrast. Like all the teachers know how to specially work with you. They know how to read your braille. There's braillers in every room. There's talking computers in the library. Like everything's designed for you. Everybody around you uses canes and guide dogs and is blind too. And that's great, but it's not reality. And if somebody goes to the school for the blind from the time they're 3 years old in kindergarten to the time they're 18 or even 21 and graduate school, and then they have to step into the real world and the reality of what life is actually like, that's going to be really shocking. And I knew for at least me, I wouldn't be able to handle that. So I knew that if I did end up wanting to go to university, it would have been way too much of a crazy change to go from 4 years at a school for the blind to going to a university. Where I had like 4 other kids in my class and they're all blind, to being in like a huge lecture hall where nobody cares that I'm blind and nobody has really time to like deal with it. So yeah, that's why for me I wanted to do it in stepping stones. School for the blind, regular school, university, and we all know university never ended up happening, but yeah, that's why. All right, the next question is from Gummy Snakes on Instagram, who asked what my favorite Disney movie is, and if I go to the movies to listen to them, even though I can't watch them with my eyes. So to answer the first question, my all-time favorite Disney movie is Pocahontas. So classic. I watched that. How often did I watch that as a kid? I watched it a lot.
Multiple times.
Many times I watched Pocahontas. It was hardcore favorite. In fact, I never liked Disney movies except Pocahontas. Like as a kid, my parents would play other Disney movies and I'd be like, pass. Nope. And then Pocahontas, and I was like riveted to the TV. So that was definitely my favorite. I actually had these Pocahontas pajamas, and they were like the classic 90s PJs where it has like the big cuffs at every, like the neck and the arms and the legs. And they were bright turquoise, and then they were white flannel pajamas with Pocahontas images all over it. And then it had fringe, turquoise fringe all across the arms and chest. It was great. And every time I'd wear them, my dad would be like, "What are you wearing, Molly?" And I'd excitedly be like, "My Pocahontas pajamas." And he'd go, "No, poke you, Hontas." And he'd poke me such like a dad thing to do, but when you're like 3 and 4, it's hilarious. And so that's my favorite Disney movie. And then to answer the other part of the question, do I still go to the movies? Honestly, not really. I might go to the movies once a year. And there is options when you go to the movies. A lot of theaters have options for at least some movies in their theater to have audio description, so you can get like a headset and listen to audio description, and that is super, super helpful. So I do definitely prefer going to the movie theater when they have that as an option to use, but I'm just not a movie fan. Like, I don't watch a lot of movies, and I don't watch a lot of TV shows. I'm like classic YouTuber. I just watch a lot of YouTube, to be honest. All right, I'm gonna answer one more question. You guys left a ton of questions. It was crazy. It was the most questions I've ever gotten for a Q&A video, so thank you guys so much. But you guys know I give like the longest, most rambly answers ever to every question, and I know this video is already probably so long, so I don't wanna make it any longer, so I'm just gonna do one more question. So save them for the next Q&A, but the final question was from Facebook, and it was from Callum McPherson, who asked me, how do I imagine things that I've never seen before? So that's a good question. Basically, I use description that sighted people give me and draw from memories or like from what, I guess, like my knowledge of other things. So a good thing to do is like for people when they describe things to me to describe it in relation to something I might have seen or to something I might have felt, that kind of thing, because that allows me to like draw better connections. So be like, oh, this looks like that, but it's like a brighter blue and the edges are sharper. So like it gives me like an idea of what it looks like and related to something I already know of, and then gives me a bit more detail. And because I already know what like a brighter blue is or sharper edges feel like or that kind of thing, I can like add that detail myself. But it's really weird, like when I picture things in my head, because I know I've talked about this before, but like for most of us, visual memory doesn't last. Some blind people it does, and I don't know why that is. Like I didn't even know that until recently when one of my blind friends said that she still remembers what colors look like, which I'm jealous of, but like most blind people, that doesn't last, visual memory. And so when I do like picture things, even when I picture things I've seen before, like it's like a very distant memory. Like it's like the image is there, but it's like really far away, and it's like behind a bunch of things. I don't know if that makes any sense, but like it's lost a little bit, you know? Like even when I do think of things I've seen before and like picture them in my head, I'm not picturing like a nice crisp clear image like maybe a sighted person might. It's like a very distant, far off idea of something. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know if I answered your question. I hope I did. And I hope you guys enjoyed this Q&A and found it interesting. I love interacting with you guys on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So definitely hit me up there again. And I will be doing a Q&A again at some point in the future, so look out for that. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me for another video. Please hit subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up. I'll see you next time.